Ladies and gentlemen, children of the interwebs out there, Sebastian Envy, strong style nerd, strong style cinephile. Now, raise your hand if you were disappointed in the season 2 finale of Titans on DC Universe. I imagine I'm not the only person raising their hand in disappointment, so let us speak about that for a scant few minutes, because I don't want to go over just the nuts and bolts of the entire episode from start to finish, but I do want to talk about a few things that were, like I said, disappointing. Now, the episode is called Nightwing, so we get the long-awaited reveal of the full-on Nightwing suit in live action. Now, that part of it was cool. That element was cool. It was Nightwing. I'm not a huge Batman fan, not a huge Superman fan, as I've said many times in my videos on this channel. What I do like as part of the Bat family is the Hunters, Robin as Dick Grayson Robin, Tim Drake Robin, and Nightwing. I like the Nightwing suit. I did a Nightwing character at an MPX show last year. I like Nightwing. And we got this whole season, since Titan's inception, rather, it's been billed as the progression of Dick from Robin to Nightwing. We spent 26 episodes getting to this point, and it's wrapped up in Nightwing finally coming into his own and taking on the big baddie of the season, which was Deathstroke, mostly. And we get it wrapped up all nice in a bow in about 8 minutes, if even that long. I would go back and look at it again to see what minute mark that it was over with. But it just took me back to season 1 and Trigon. Trigon was the big bad for all these episodes, and he gets mopped up in the, not season finale, in the season premiere of the second season, in like the opening minutes of it, and that just, it's a huge letdown. So we know, okay, let's just take the basics of the plot. The plot is Deathstroke comes back, he launches his assault, Titans stop him, but then they also have to deal with Cadmus doing phase 2 of their plan after mind altering Gar and Connor. Phase 2 is to weaponize superpowers. It's a plot we've seen many times before, where Cadmus' idea, their plan, is to release Gar onto the populace, a superpowered, entity onto the populace, send in Connor and Cadmus, they swoop in as like Captain Save-A-Ho, and save the day. So everybody's like, hey, buy superpowered individuals from us. We can program them, we can customize them any way you want. That's phase 2, that's their plan. So that's the other part of things that they have to deal with, which again, that was wrapped up kind of quick. It's just that they're rushing through the action stuff just to get to a whole bunch of talking, because that's what we got for the rest of the episode pretty much was, then the death. The Titan will fall. Spoilers if you haven't seen it, the episode. But Donna Troy bites the big one. We suspected Donna Troy because we saw the lasso next to the coffin in the trailer, but the way she died, Dawn was going to help recover a kid's like stuffed animal or something, and then this piece of carnival ride was going to fall down on her. Donna goes and grabs it, hoists it up, and gets electrocuted and dies. Presumably dies. On one hand, it's like, well, she got electrocuted, so I can see her dying from that. On the other hand, it's like, it was such a weak way to go out. And then it's disappointing that they put that in the trailer, that a Titan will fall, because then you're sitting there, just for me, I was like watching the fight with Deathstroke, and I'm just like, alright, is this where somebody dies? And then they're setting up to where they're going to do stuff against Connor, and then I'm like, alright, is this like, when they think everything is okay and Connor's okay, he's going to suddenly snap and like punch a hole in like Donna's chest or something like that. That's what I was thinking, just waiting on it to happen. So when it actually did happen, it's really disappointing. And like I said, the rest of the episode was just talking, and then, I understand it was them kind of dealing with where do they go on now? Are there Titans now without Donna? That was something that Dick and Bruce talked about, with Bruce emphasizing the fact that Titans are family. The family, that came up a lot. It's like we were watching Fast and Furious with Vin Diesel, because he's talking about family every 5 minutes. Titans are a family, so that was like a big thing that was beaten over our heads with, and I understand that, that's fine. Hank and Dawn, they kind of settle on not being together at this juncture, but Hank's like, hey, let's still give Hawk and Dove a try. Because when they split up, he had said, basically, we're bad together, And then in hindsight, he was thinking about all the good that they actually did together. So he's like, hey, let's give it another shot. Maybe not dating, but hey, let's still be, superheroes and such. Jason shows up when they're sending Donna's body back to Themyscira, and he just rides off on his bike to parts unknown. We'll see if he gets killed somewhere in season 3. Comes back as Red Hood, maybe like in season 4, something like that. Rachel, whose powers are changing and doing weird things and may have possibly sapped some of Corey's power, or affecting Corey's power, she goes off to Themyscira to possibly heal and bring Donna Troy back to life. We'll see if that actually happens. Also, another thing, apparently the diner in Elko might have been a whole mental projection thing from Rachel, so that'd be interesting because Corey asked Bruce about it. Bruce was like, I've never been to Elko. Of course, we know from the other episode that was the big cafe sort of diner meeting and powwow with Bruce, saying some encouraging stuff to the ladies to get them back on track. Bruce says it wasn't him. Who was it? Was it Rachel? Of course, we have the long way to fight Nightwing, Deathstroke. The ladies are on their way to the carnival. At first, they were planning their attack on Cadmus to go and get Gar and Connor. Then they get the alert that there's something going on, this carnival fair thing, and they're heading that way. Next thing you know, Deathstroke attacks, shoots up the truck they're in, actually shoots Corey, because apparently, like I said, Corey's power's going wonky, so she gets hit, bleeding. Rachel heals her. Next thing you know, somebody jumps on the top of the vehicle, and it's full-on Nightwing suit, and he tells them, hey, I've got this. This is my fight. So in he goes. He's holding up for a little bit, and then Deathstroke starts to beat his butt. And that was another stupid thing. It's like, why are they still sitting in the car? Corey's powers are on the fritz a little bit. Rachel still has massive superpowers. Donna Troy is an Amazon, and they're just sitting in the car while this is going on. I understand Dick was like, hey, let me handle it, but the moment you see he can't handle it, get out of the car. You have superpowers, and you're sitting there. So that was disappointing. Rose shows up. Deathstroke thinks she's on his side. She is not. She's on the side of the Titans. They battle. They end up beating Deathstroke, and then Rose calls for Jericho to jump from her dad into her. And now Rose and Jericho are co-opting the same body. And that was it. That was the quick resolution. The fight was cool, but again, that's all like really the Nightwing action got in this episode. Anything else was just him standing around. Their big idea to get loose to talk to Connor was to get Rachel to wrap him up with her little venom-like tendril powers. She sends Dick into his mind, and they're standing into a field just because Dick like reaches Connor or whatever, and then Connor flies, and then suddenly he's back to normal. It was just like. So they have that, and then they have to deal with Gar. Gar's a tiger. He's been hurting people. Rachel goes and fixes him, basically puts hands on him and fixes him. And that was that. It was just stuff that was just meandering for the entire season, just wrapped up so quickly. And I knew going into it with so much to have resolution, to bring about a resolution to. In fact, we were supposed to do that in 48 minutes. I knew it was going to be rushed. I knew it was going to be handled as well as it could have been, and it wasn't. I mean, I give this episode like a strong 6.5 out of 10 because Nightwing and that reveal and Nightwing seeing it in action is not enough to make up for a multitude of sins in this episode and in this season with how they've handled things so far. Like I said many times, it felt like there was no good, like they weren't connected. This is the main story. This is all the other Titans throughout all, like majority of season 2, where they were just rotating and revolving in their own little worlds around whatever they wanted the main plot to be. That wasn't really a good main plot. It was just, we already know there's a season 3. We got the tease with Blackfire using her little mental goo taking over some, mother or whatever. So Blackfire's on Earth. So we have season 3. We know season 3 is coming. So I'm hoping that the potential, season 2 was slightly better than season 1. But now that we have season 3, I'm just really hoping that they see some of the mistakes of season 2 and from a narrative standpoint, from a budget standpoint, really understand what they have to use and really plan around the best use of their dollars, especially when it comes to like Gar and some of the other superpowers they have in this show. And they could plan a better season 3. Season 2 was like okay. Season 1 was meh by comparison. Season 2 is just slightly better now that like we have all of this. Now we've seen the entire thing. We can judge it upon seeing the entire thing, where the story went from the season premiere to the season finale, and it just wasn't all that good. I love the Titans. I love to support any sort of comic book superhero show that's halfway decent, so I'm still going to watch it, but it was just not as good as it could have been. So many things were just glossed over, and it's just annoying. Like, we never got any sort of resolution, like any sort of like, hey, our bad to Jason, when everybody thought he was messing with them and drove him to nearly jump off a building, but nobody said, hey, Jason, our bad. Sorry that we thought that of you. We have Rose, where she says that, Dick finds out that she was like working with Deathstroke, so presumably she's the one who messed with all the stuff in their home and stuff like that to mess with them mentally. But she gets a pass. It's like, it was as stupid as when the Thinker's wife in the Flash finale after that season, where she's been working with the Thinker the entire season, helping him do heinous stuff, helping him kill people, and she gets a pass. She just gets to walk away at the end of the season. That was stupid on the Flash. It was stupid here that Rose gets a pass for her transgressions on the Titans. It's just like, I understand. The family is supposed to be forgiving and stick together through the rough patches and all that kind of stuff. But it was just like, man, it was stupid to me. It was just stupid. Like I said, I don't want to sit here. I just like to talk for a scant few minutes. I don't want to rail against, with negativity for 20 minutes on this, because I genuinely like the show. I like its live action Titans. I mean, that's cool. I've got a live action Nightwing. That was very cool, but it didn't. That brief moment that we got the live action Nightwing was not enough to make up for everything else that was such a letdown about this episode and about this season. But again, I'm hoping that now that they know they have a season 3, that they plan the narrative, they plan the budget, and they can make it the best season yet. Now that we've stripped the Titans down, we've brought them back together, they're breaking bread at the end of the episode, and then they get a call about a bomb threat or some shenanigans. They get up and go do their Titans thing. Presumably the slow motion walk at the end with them in their costumes, although with Corey, her powers being wonky, I don't know why she would be there. But here we are. So that was a cool shot. And the idea that we're going to go forth with an actual tried and true Titans team together doing superhero stuff in their superhero suits. I'm hopeful. But it remains to be seen what happens. Like I said, some good things about the episode. Let's close on positive notes and pros. It was cool to see the Nightwing suit. The fight with Deathstroke, as brief as it was cool. To see Donna actually cut loose and be like an Amazon throwing down with Connor, that was cool. Hank back in his like suit as Hawk, that was cool, because I love Hawk and Dove. I want them to have a spin-off, or at least more, in the next season. Give me more Hawk and Dove, I'm fine with it. That was cool. Other stuff, not so much, but again, hopefully they can just build on potential and just make season 3 a better season. I'm really hopeful of that. We'll see what happens. Anyway, this is some of my scattered, kind of jumped around a little bit, thoughts on Titans season finale. What do you guys out there think? Let me know in the comments below. Follow me on social media down there. If you're in the DFW area, Saturday, this is when I'm recording this, because it took me like a little bit to kind of think over the finale and what I want to say about it. So this is Saturday when I'm recording this, so if you're in the DFW area on Saturday, Bedford, Texas, MPX, Public Enemies, I'm back in the building doing what I do, going places, kicking faces, doing it so well. Come check me out. Come check out the other guys on the show. Meantime, let us geek.